Christmas is here, and now you're thinking about decorating your house and you want to buy that beautiful cut tree that you can place in the Christmas tree stand, decorate it, and enjoy it for the 4 to 6 weeks of Christmas. And then what do you do afterwards with it? You just throw it out into the compost pile, and that's that. But if you're looking to start a tradition that might be a little different or unique, coming to Weston Nurseries, you'll have the ability to buy a living Christmas tree, not a cut live tree. The difference between a living tree and a cut tree is it's alive. You're going to take this tree, you're going to decorate it, bring it in the house and decorate it, you're going to enjoy it, but then afterwards you're going to be able to dig a hole and plant it in your garden somewhere. I found that customers that have a newborn child, first year, great idea. You plant this small evergreen, and in 30 or 40 years, they can look back and say, wow, that thing grew into something nice, and they grew 30 years of that tree, enjoying it from the day it was planted. So if you're looking for some way to attractively decorate the front of your house, but you don't want to use an artificial wreath or cut branches, why not think about using a live living tree to do that? Or starting a new tradition in your family, why not buy a living tree and enjoy that for years to come? So there's different types of evergreens that we have here at Weston Nursery. Spruce and fir are the top two sellers. We do have boxwoods as well, but the spruces are trees. I mean, this is a baby blue spruce, beautiful blue color. It's gonna grow about 25, 30 foot tall. It grows about 4 inches a year, wants full sun. And then we have some oriental spruce and some Norway spruce, again in that 40-foot range over time, about 4 to 6 inches of growth, green in foliage. Then we also may have some firs kicking around here. That's just like your Christmas tree. So all of these evergreens do have a little bit different process than your cut tree. Because they're living, they have to be in your house for a short period. So it's recommended 5 to 7 days that you take the plant and enjoy it in the house. Make sure it's in a cooler room, not near direct heat, and you want to transition the plant from the outdoors to the indoors. We don't know what the weather's going to be like 3 or 4 weeks from now. If you take the plant from a 70 or a 60 degree summer day and bring it in the house when it's 60 or 70, there's no issues. But we know that we're going to have 40s and 50s. So if you have that plant that's outside right now, 40, 50 degrees, and you bring it into the 60s and 70s in your house, and you bring it back out when it's 30 or 40 degrees, it's too much of a shock to the plant and the needles will start to fall off. So what I recommend is you take the plant, select it, bring it home, water it maybe once or twice a week, about 2 or 3 days before Christmas. Bring it into like a breezeway, a garage, somewhere where it's not as windy, not as cold as outdoors, but not as warm as indoors. Leave it there for a couple of 3 days. Bring it in the house, decorate it, enjoy it. Have your presents, the train, whatever you want to do. And then when you're done after Christmas, a day or two later, take the ornaments off, bring it back out to the breezeway or garage, 2 or 3 days in there, and then plant it directly outdoors. If you know where it's going to go, pre-dig the hole, maybe cover the hole so nobody falls in it, and put the plant in the ground after the holidays with the soil blend that you had. But getting it below the soil and adding some mulch will prevent the freeze-thaw from doing any damage to the roots. If the ground is solid frozen, you couldn't get to planting, you still can put the plant outdoors through the winter, not in the garage, it needs the sun. Just protect the roots from freezing and thawing temperatures. Maybe put an extra layer of mulch around it, put some hay around it, or you could even put a bunch of leaf matter if you wanted to. But the key to survival is making sure it's not going through extreme temperature changes and that it's moist, not wet during those periods. When you bring it in the house for 3 or 5 days, you may not even need to water it, especially if it's in a cool room. But if it is really dry, you might want to throw some water in it, so you may need a saucer for the bottom. You don't want it sitting in a puddle of water. It should be pretty wet before you bring it in. Maybe there's a possibility that some water might leak through the base, so you might want to have some kind of a saucer or some kind of container that can hold the water so it doesn't damage your rug or your flooring. Otherwise, you'll be in a deep hole with your wife, because I've done that before. So I know exactly why you wouldn't want to do that. After you leave it in the house, if you bring it back outdoors, you want to make sure that it gets some water immediately. And if there's no snow, no rain, but you can't plant it, or even if you do plant it, we want to make sure that we're watering it at least once or twice a month through January or February if we don't get some natural snow or rain. You can find all these trees at any one of our garden centers in Lincoln, Hingham, Chelmsford, or Hopkinton. If you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments section below or subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you. This is Jim Connolly wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And plant that tree for that young one in your family and enjoy it for years to come.